Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin bubble news channel. People are so badly broken in this society, and it's all because of fake money. Also, I do believe in a God, and I think he's going to punish all of these fiat jerks. In other words, he's going to destroy this fake money. Then, the rest of us, the people who are left in this country, the honest and hardworking ones, will rise back up. We'll start doing business with each other again and adding value, and we'll use honest money to do it. It makes the most sense to use Bitcoin, which is an honest exchange. That's what is going to happen. The first thing I would tell anyone is to get connected with Bitcoin if they aren't already. You need to go to Bitcoin events. Talk to people who use Bitcoin. We all get it. Lepard told podcaster Walker Lawrence that Bitcoin would become very popular very quickly and might even cause a reset in the banking system. He talked about the problems with the current system of fiat currencies, the worth of good money, and the chance that Bitcoin could be more valuable than other currencies. Lepard says that Bitcoin's acceptance will grow faster, especially since El Salvador has already started to use it and stronger countries are starting to look more closely at it. He said that Nashville felt like a turning point. Lepard used the fact that Bitcoin ETF was accepted as proof that the government would not kill Bitcoin. He talked about the math behind US debt, interest rates, and budgets and predicted that they would all fall apart. This could cause a financial reset where Bitcoin becomes a safe way to pay. A lot of people think that gold is a good way to store value. Lepard said that Bitcoin is better. He said that even though the number of ETF buying has gone down, gold prices have stayed the same because countries are still trading in their own currencies and settling in gold. Lepard thinks that the economy will change completely between 2028 and 2035, with Bitcoin becoming the most important asset. As I see it, we're almost at the point where adoption will happen really quickly, like in Malcolm Gladwell's work, where the curve changes by 10%. After that, everyone knows you need it. That's how Nashville made me feel. A few years ago, we were all down there screaming for Jack because he had the orange pill, Duke Kelly, and El Salvador, who was going to switch to the Bitcoin standard. That was great too. We had our own country. This is the first time that the largest country has talked about it. You had Lummis introduce a bill, and so on. RFK talked about Jason Lowry in his speech, so you know. This is what I mean by strategic importance. You had the ETFs then. The ETFs have been passed since the last podcast you and I did together. Like Sailor said, and I know this was going to be true for me too. When I tried to orange pill my rich friends, they would say, yeah, but the government is going to kill it even if I could get them to agree that it was a good idea. The government just gave the go-ahead for an ETF. That claim isn't really valid anymore. Now, let's say it gets really bad and people understand the dollar is failing, and especially if Kamala wins and Warren becomes her Treasury Secretary, then maybe there's a 6,102 risk. But, I think the government is being pretty nice to it right now. Let's talk about some math right now. What I mean is, we all know that they have to pay for a debt. They have to take on debt to pay for it. That debt has to be bought by someone. Grumman says that you need to find a sucker at the card table. So and in the past, it was a petrodollar, and the Saudis and other countries would renew the debt. Then China came along and we let them join the WTO in return for them paying off our debt. But those guys no longer pay off our debt. Also, we're having a tough time discovering people willing to buy the loan. Also, that means that interest rates go up on their own. And if rates of interest rise, the debt gets bigger. When the deficit is bigger, you have to sell more debt. But when you sell more debt, the interest rates go up even more. You can see where this is going. Repeat over and over until the whole thing blows up. It is so badly broken in this world, and it's all because of paper money. Also, I do believe in a God, and I think he's going to punish all of these fiat jerks. In other words, he's going to destroy this fake money. After that, the people who are left in this country, the honest and hardworking ones, are going to rise again. We're going to start doing business with each other and adding value, and we're going to use honest money to do it. It makes the most sense to use Bitcoin, which is an honest exchange. This will all be worked out between 2028 and 2035. That's what I think will happen. There is no one in the world who really has a sound money stance. It doesn't really matter. What's important is that the dollar crossed over to gold and Bitcoin. Yeah, those are the two signs. If Bitcoin costs $500,000 a coin and gold costs $10,000 an ounce, then you know what? You know that the dollar is failing in every way. So let's talk about something else that I think is important what we're seeing. This is important to me. This is the United States. Remember that we all think Bitcoin is the answer, and it is. It's much better than gold. But most people aren't where we are. And when people in government think, okay, we need to reset, or go back to sound money gold is usually the first thing that comes to mind. I mean, Judy Shelton, a nice woman with a great name who was nominated for the Fed and is a good money person, is a great model. It would be a reset to gold if we were to do one. And that's kind of what you're seeing out there right now. In a subtle but steady way, I mean that all trade used to be done in dollars, but now countries deal with each other in their own currencies and then settle their trades in gold. So that's why the price of gold has been very high, even though buying gold ETFs has gone down. I find that very interesting. Is it true that Bitcoin ETFs have eaten gold for lunch? There used to be no Bitcoin ETFs, but now there are a lot of them. It's been a while since gold ETFs got bigger. When you see that, you think the price of gold should be going down. But it's not. I mean, yesterday the price of gold hit a new all-time high, somewhere around $20, $40, $5, $2, $4, $5, $8 or something. This is because other countries use gold. These countries use gold as a fair medium of exchange. They know that having dollars, which are a neutral backup asset, is not a good idea. As Saylor points out, the real winning plan is for a country to be able to print money and buy Bitcoin. Really, what a deal. I mean, what a deal. He's basically following Hugo Stennis's plan of selling claims on things he knows won't lose value and buying things he knows will gain value. So, MicroStrategy is a great stock because it's like a money machine that you can turn on and off. It's owned by my fund, by me directly, and so on. In fact, it's really great. I think that smarter countries will notice, but not the EU as a whole. They're all as stupid as shit. They're not going to get it, really. I don't think anyone will be there. We'll pick up on it soon. You know, I talked to Jeff Booth a couple of weeks ago, and he just told Larry if we could get everyone to use Bitcoin, this thing would fall apart right away. He's right. We're still a long way from that point, though, right? With this book, I hope to help everyone understand what's going on, become angry about it, and then decide to leave the system, just like you and I have, and fight for a better one. That's going to be the message then. It's my team VS. Yours or my color VS, your color. That's it. That's just a game to pass the time. Of course, that is a fully Hegelian accent. You could also think they just want you to fight. You don't pay attention to them. I'll tell you who it is. The 99% are up against the 1%. Okay, that's really the problem. We get it. I mean, when the Federal Reserve was formed in 1913, we lost the power that we should have had, which was to have a sound money system. We need to get that power back. That's what we need to do. So, it's not blue-red. We are all up against the elites who run a system that strongly favors them. That is the issue. It's just so clear, Our grandchildren will remember this in the same way that we remember cutting people open, right? I mean, in the Middle Ages. They were removing blood to help people get better. In other words, it was cruel and stupid. When our children or grandchildren see this, they will feel the same way we do. Wait a minute. Everyone knows that free markets are what make people rich. And you let 12 guys set the money market so they could fix it to help themselves. Why in the world did you do that? That was crazy. In my lifetime, there have been times when interest rates were 0% and times when they were 20%. The 20% loan rates almost put my dad's business out of business. Really